George, can you tell me a little bit about the Wallabadah Creek Catchment Group and what brought you all together?
Catchment is backs onto the main range, east of Wallabadah, and represents about 50,000 acres of land, 17 land holdings, the two of which, the biggest, represent over 50% of that catchment. And in that catchment there's one main creek, which is the Wallabadah Creek, which runs into the Crimlay Creek ultimately, and some permanent creeks which run into that. There are two, and then primarily dry creeks, dry drainages that drain in when it rains. And traditionally the ground, it's been fairly solid groundwater. The formation of the group really arose out of the current drought, in effect, and a number of constant conversations on a Saturday morning in the Hub, which is the local coffee shop, around people's concerns about groundwater. And as the surface water disappeared, there was increasing concern about groundwater and what we might be able to do about it. And that led to the formation of the group.
And this group has received some funding from the National Land Care Program, and with that funding some activities have been run with land care and with local land services and some soil scientists and hydrologists. Tell us a little bit about what some of the things the group has learnt from those get-togethers.
Well, I think that we took a view at the start that there were varying views on why we had or didn't have water, and the issue was that we had to start mapping our catchment and get some data on it, and that is where we needed baseline data and data we could get some analysts, and that was beyond our internal capacity, so we approached LLS and Land Care, and we've had some very good expertise from DPI and Soil Futures, a fellow called Rob Banks, who's come in and had a look, and we had a look at our bore water, and we had a look at our bore depths and soil. Mm-hmm. And whilst it's not comprehensive, and it gives us a starting point, whether the groundwater is beyond our capacity to control, which I think was made fairly clear when one looked at the geology and the advice we got, have to be informed by data, and we've all got limited time. Everybody up here runs commercials, and hopefully sustainable agricultural operations of varying types, and we can't do everything at once. We need to put a plan in place that we can look at for the next 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, if we're going to do something about it.
And so this group is obviously doing some benchmarking, getting that baseline data through funding, and we'll be looking at doing future activities to monitor change over time and to improve soils and water as well. And so one of the other benefits through this funding also is the formation of a land care group. So you are formally recognised in that sphere, and you are able to then access a bigger network of experts, of community groups, of funding, and bringing people together is really important to try and achieve your goals. As you said, the catchment, it includes all the landholders in the group, which is fantastic, where neighbours are working with each other to start looking at these issues and how they might address them. And so, John, can you tell me a little bit about your involvement with Wallabadah Creek Catchment Group?
Well, yes, I got involved with it. And obviously I'm concerned about the water situation because we're born and bred here, lived here all our life, and yes, the water situation seems to be getting worse all the time. On this particular place here, I'm 100% dependent on bore water. I've got no dam water whatsoever, so it's obviously in my interest if we can improve the water infiltration, and if that improves the bore water, well, I'm all for that, and that's what I'd like to see happen. If we can, from the advice we've been getting, if we can improve that, well, that'll be a great outcome for me.
So the funding has set a really good foundation for your group to then start putting in some actions to start improving soils, to start looking at water and what you can do in ways to help infiltration and help with that recharge.